In today's video, I am going to be breaking down Chris Paul and his extremely high IQ moments. We just recently seen with him and Bismack Biyombo how great Chris Paul really is. So let's get down and let's check out that game because I want everyone to be able to play like Chris Paul because he is so good. Okay, so in this first clip, Chris Paul's right there. He then basically goes in underneath the basketball to the underneath the net to the Russian spot. Now, this is actually a very deadly location. This is behind all of the defenses. And if you're a player, you want to be able to cut behind there, or if you're a center, you want to occasionally just pop behind there because then you can sometimes get lob passes sent to you. However, with Chris Paul, what does he do? Well, he comes and cuts along the baseline. Bismack Biyombo got that rebound, and then he was able to curl, use that dribble handoff, take a couple of dribbles, and pull up for a mid-range shot where there was nobody really paying attention to where he was. That's why he was able to make that shot. That's a very high IQ play. Now, this next play, we see him using a screen, but denying it. Now, there's a reason why he denied it. Really quickly, his defender right there, he cut off that screen. As soon as a player cuts off that screen, you need to go back the opposite direction. Then, after he comes back off the screen, he then essentially puts that defender in jail by cutting him off and getting that defender to ride up on his back. At that point, there is nothing that defender can do other than trying to contest whatever Chris Paul is trying to do. And then, Bismack Biyombo is also a smart player because remember what I said, get behind the defense to the Russian spot. This is a very important spot of the court because now your main defender is going to be lifting up to contest what Chris Paul is doing, and Chris Paul is smart enough, he could have taken that shot. He might have made it as well. However, he's able to get that pass to Bismack Biyombo, who was in the Russian spot, because now he just has to catch that ball, go up with a quick hook, and it's the easiest shot in the game. Now, in this next clip, Chris Paul is extremely patient. He has a player who is trying to then reach in and really contest his dribble, trying to jam him essentially. And when that happens, guess what? Chris Paul just puts his back to him, spins off. The reach goes on this side. He just spins off, continues to dribble over towards the other side. Nice and patient. He did not get flustered and try to pass off the ball prematurely. You don't want to do that. You want to be able to control the offense and control what your defender is doing. He then sets up a screen with Bismack Biyombo, and screen and roll offense with Chris Paul is amazing, and Bismack Biyombo is one of the best centers when it comes to screen and roll in my opinion. And the two of these players together, even when it was Kyle Lowry with Bismack, it was fantastic. Now we have a behind the back pass to Bismack. Bismack has a wide open lane to the basket, and this is just going to turn into a very easy dunk for him. Now, why did this happen? Why was this effective? Well, first off, the main defender went over top of the screen and has massive room between him and Chris Paul. The hedging player is hedging on Chris Paul still, trying to cut off that drive, but there's an open lane here. If Chris Paul was to pass in front of him, that defender would have picked off that pass. This is why behind the back passes need to be taught to all players. And then Bismack Biyombo's just able to finish because there was nobody going to be able to block that. Here we see Chris Paul using that screen once again, and as soon as he noticed that that player is trying to go over top of that screen, we notice that Chris Paul is attacking. See, there's three ways to play a screen. As a defender, you can go underneath the screen, which would have been a three-point shot for Chris Paul, and then if you go over top of the screen, Chris Paul needs to cut in quickly. If you try to cut off that screen like we seen earlier, Chris Paul would then deny the screen and go back the opposite direction. That's the three ways that you can play it as a defender and three ways that you can play it as the offensive player. And when that comes down to the fact of as soon as he sees that player starting to go over top, he starts cutting in at that point because that player was going over top. He wants to be able to draw Jonas Valanciunas up towards him, which he sort of did in a way. He kind of just didn't attack the basket in enough time, and because of that, his defender was able to catch up to him. But Bismack's very smart too. Bismack goes again to the Russian spot. Get behind the defender. This is useful. Get behind and then cut out slightly, and this can be a very deadly spot. Now, Bismack Biyombo goes for that hook shot he's very well known for, and he does make that shot, but what he could have done, because he's so well known for that shot, he could have went up for a shot fake, brought his right leg around, taken a step right there, and then he could have went up for a reverse. He could have went up for a dunk. There's so many different options after that shot fake, but either way, he just went straight up for his shot, and of course, he did make it. Now, this is a great screen-to-screener play because now you've got Bismack setting a screen for Chris Paul, and then you've got Devin Booker setting a back screen on the hedge man for Bismack Biyombo. This is a very high-level play. You generally wouldn't see this at the high school level, at least here in Canada, and from there, what do we see? Well, this leaves so many players wide open. We've got, of course, Devin Booker who's popping. Then we have Chris Paul's man who's still on him, but because of that brush screen, the back screen, whatever you want to call it, from Devin Booker for Bismack Biyombo, Chris Paul is able to know how to get that ball through. Of course, he gets the ball through this location right here. There's a massive gap between or beside players' heads if they're a defender, and that's how you can get passes like that through. Also, staggered screens are very useful too, and being able to pass with one hand is extremely important. So here, we see that Chris Paul does a quick one-hand pass right there. It's a fantastic pass, but he's looking forward. He knows Bismack Biyombo's on his left side after the staggered because especially Jonas is popping out to him. And with his peripheral vision, he's able to get that pass to Bismack, and Bismack's able to make Jonas Valanciunas pay. And this is a fantastic move. Being able to make these one-hand passes, still looking forward, still having your shoulders forward, can really throw off these hedge defenders. And if you've got a player who's really good at rolling towards the basket, you can really make defenses pay. So by watching players like Chris Paul, Kyle Lowry, how they're able to really organize their offense, how they're able to get these passes through, being able to really find and know how to find players on the offensive side, but also have teammates who know how to get to open areas of the court is very beneficial. If you're a point guard who can make passes like these, who understand the offense and what defenses are trying to do to you, and if you've got teammates who can find open areas of the court, you are going to be extremely successful as a passer. I hope that this video has helped you. If it has, hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you guys again next time.